2 hours though.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it was a long time. And that's what I'm saying. Like, hello everybody. Just kind of we just kind
Yeah.
of threw it into this episode. Well, we've just kind of been talking about music a lot as of late,
Yeah.
and like how awesome music is.
Right. I want to hear about your day. That's why I started the podcast.
I know. So yesterday, I had like I always I hate my morning routine. I always want to change it, but like I always wake up like literally. I wake up like an hour before class usually, but I don't get out of bed until like 15 minutes before class, and then it's basically like a scramble to throw all my clothes on.
Yeah.
Put my backpack on and sprint out the door. So like
And
today
drive.
today was actually a good day. Well, it's only like a 5-minute drive.
Oh yeah, true. Okay.
But today was a good day because I got up like mad early. But yesterday was same old, just rushed to school. But I had one class on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, so it's literally 15 minutes of my time. I almost skipped it because I was like, oh, it's one class, who gives a shit? But I was like, oh, I should go. We have a quiz on Friday. I'll be prepared. So I went, and then after class, what did I do? I think after class, I was just really lazy and like might have played a video game. Laid on my bed, ate. I've been eating so much food as of late.
Yeah.
So much food.
Oh yeah.
I think it's because I've been working out more, but I've been eating a lot. Like I've been
Like how many meals a day?
Like 3, but like big meals.
Oh okay.
Like my lunch yesterday was an entire can of corned beef hash, fried up with 3 eggs, and I had 2 bowls of cereal with that. Then on top of that, or no, then that was it for yesterday. I think I might have had some chocolate, like after. But that's just
Some
for fun.
chocolate.
Today, I had an entire can of corned beef hash with 3 eggs, a hard-boiled egg, and an egg salad sandwich, and some peanuts. Like, just, I've been eating.
Right.
But anyway, so,
Are you trying to put on weight, or is it just?
no,
it's
I'm
just
not. I'm just hungry all the time.
Your metabolism's changing.
Right. So, then after that, I kind of, like, was dicking around. And I got kind of in an argument with my dad, if you will. And that kind of just, like, ruined my mood. So I was like, fuck this. I'm going to the gym. So I went to the gym and had another awesome experience with music, which, like, as I was saying, like, music, I've been kind of finding a larger and larger role for music in my life. Like, I love driving because I love listening to music. I love, just kind of, chilling out. It's the only time I really get to listen to my music because for all of our listeners, I probably have the oddest taste in music of anybody else for me.
I don't think it's odd. I think it's very like diverse.
Very, very diverse. Like straight up, I love some good old hardcore country, but then I'll get all the way over to like rap or even like some like milder screamo. I'm not really into screamo and like death music.
Really?
But like
I
some
didn't know
mild screamo. Yeah.
Wait? How do you listen? Like, what's mild screamo?
Well, I mean, it's not like they're screaming, but they're certainly yelling.
So they're not like
no.
They're just
not
like
not like death metal. No, I'm
Oh.
not into death metal, but like some mild.
So they're just
screamo.
like fuck. They're not like
kind of.
fuck. I don't
like-
even know how to
Yeah,
mildly screamo.
Yes.
It's like mild scream.
But yes, I have very wide range, very
Okay,
wide range.
yeah.
And like most people, like I have specific playlists that I play like with different people because like I know a lot of people do not enjoy a lot of my
Yeah.
music. So like I have my own little like favorites that has like a bunch of like country and rap and hip hop and pop and everything in there and alternative and classic rock and everything. And then I have like my party mix, which is a little more mainstream, and then I have like a mix for when I'm with Priscilla, and I have a mix for when I'm with you, and I have a mix for when I'm with when I'm working out or when I'm with my friend Jack or whoever. Like I have a bunch of different mixes because I have a lot of music and a lot of my friends like different sorts of music. But my workout mix is pretty good, and so I was working out and I was getting tired, and I was about like probably an hour, maybe an hour and 15, maybe pushing it to an hour 30 minutes in, and I was like, fuck, I'm really tired. And then I had like this awesome moment where this song just came on and just like gave me the second wind, and I was like, let's go. And I worked out for another like 45 to another 30 minutes, and that was pretty cool. And I've never really had that experience with music. I think it's because I don't really work out with music that often, but like that was pretty dope. It was the song Until I Collapse by Eminem, which first off is a great song.
Oh.
But yeah, it just got me that energy, got me revved up. I literally I was that like asshole in the gym, and I started like pounding my chest a little bit because I was getting so revved up, and like that was like adrenaline rush, and I was like,
Mhm.
let's go. So I started lifting a little more. I ran. I sprinted for like a good 7 to 10 minutes. It was pretty good. Can't complain.
Mm.
And then on the way home, I listened to some more of my music, jammed out, and I was able to just completely alter my mood. I remember in the beginning of the car ride, like I was sitting with like a serious face on. I was like, "Yo, if anyone sees me, like they think that I'm mad," and I was kind of like,
Cause you
"Why?"
were.
Yeah, and I was kind of like, "Why am I mad?" I started to reflect while listening, and then like by the end of the ride, when I when I was getting home, I was like singing along with all my music,
Mm.
just having a great time. And then I got in, like I didn't even care. I was like, why am I holding on to this anger? It's so
Right.
pointless. I'm just gonna let it go. I was like, hey, what's up, Dad? Like I did that thing you asked. No problem. That's what I'm here for. How are you guys doing? Do you guys want some water? And just like kind of like let it go. And it was pretty cool that the music kind of helped
Right. And
trigger
then the
that.
endorphins of you
Right.
working out.
I'm sure that also helped. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
It was
that's
good.
dope. I've noticed that I've been working a lot more creative in like the creative space to music. Like Spencer, um
Right.
we have a couple friends that make music locally here in Rochester. Amazing artists. If you have a chance to support a local artist by you, please do that cuz like it'll mean the world to them. Like I'm sure it'll be fun for you. Like, as they blow up and things, they pay attention. I know if I since we have a podcast, I promote it a lot. Like and I've started to promote it more. I notice when like people listen or people reach out or people,
Right.
say like, "Yo, I just listened to this. It was so
Oh,
funny."
speaking of
Mhm.
little shout out, I guess in one of the other episodes, I was talking about Battlefield 1, which is a World
Oh,
War One game, but I accidentally said Battlefront, which is a Star Wars game. So two different things.
okay.
Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Someone pointed that out to
Um
me.
Yeah, but yeah, and I enjoy those moments, and
Right,
like
it's
I'm sure you
fun.
appreciate
It's
that.
fun, yeah, to talk about
Yeah,
that.
especially knowing that like your friends support like something you want to do. Like I went on a Snapchat rant about that. You probably saw it, right?
Oh yeah, it was long.
Yeah,
Good
and
old
I was
7
just
minutes.
like that. I'm not an avid poster on like social media and stuff like that. And usually when I do post, it's about like either project visual or it's about the podcast or it's about like art stuff that I'm working on. It's never just about me.
Hmm.
And I guess like the people on my Snapchat, follow me because they want to know about me. I don't know why the fuck they follow me. I mean, it's not like I have a huge following on Snapchat either. It's really just like my core friends. But like yeah, I was listening to Spencer's Visceral Love, like basically any song on Visceral Love, which is just three. But it when I listen to it, it just puts me in my feels and not puts me in my feels, but it gives me it makes me more attentive and more focused. Um, and I start writing. Like I wrote maybe three scripts listening to Visceral Love, those three songs over and over and over again, because they inspired a lot of like the scenes and stuff that I had in them, and it just made them very easy to write.
Right.
And since I write a lot of like content that's like more dramatic and has like like a story
Hmm.
and things like that that rely heavily on like setting the mood and setting the tone, that that's those songs and any other songs. He has a couple other songs that that just like help me set the mood.
Right. I feel like like I have like moods where I want to listen to certain music too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean anybody does.
Right. But like I have like most of the time when I'm like in a good mood, I feel like I just listen to like dumb shit that's just like catchy and poppy and like fun. Like random stuff though. Like not
Hmm.
like mainstream. Like I don't know if you've ever heard the song Disco Pogo. I play that sometimes.
No.
Super dumb. But just like these like random like funs. I've realized as of late, and Priscilla's actually the one who pointed this out to me. Um, I like music when it just has like a weird noise in it.
Yeah.
Just like a fun, easily replicated noise. Like not a word, a noise. And it's a good noise, and I like those noises, and I listen to those noises. And like
I
I have
listen to
listened to
those noises.
songs and began to like them just because of a noise. I'll be like, I hate the rest of the song, but that noise
But that
is
noise.
worth it.
Yeah, that's like instrumentals for me.
Right.
Like the verses could be trash, but if I love the instrumental, then I'll listen to it forever. It's I don't know. Music is it plays such a huge role in my life, and I feel like that's obviously like to me, it's
Hmm.
obvious that that's like the same for so many people.
Right, and I feel
Like
like it
you
definitely
rely
is.
on it so
I
much.
feel like I've even been kind of like I don't
Yeah.
know. I wouldn't say I rely on it. I've never called myself like a music,
I mean,
guru.
you don't have to be a music guru to rely on music. Like
Right,
it's like it's a therapy when you listen to
right.
things that
You
make you
enjoy.
feel good. You want to sing
Right,
and
but
you want to dance to it.
I
That
never
those
really
releases that
I
endorphin.
rarely find like music on my own. Like I find most of the music I have was either shown to me by a friend, I found from
Dude,
a
how's
TV
music
show.
ever spread?
That's true. Like I feel like there are other people who like find it via YouTube and like just like go out and search and I'm like, how do you have the time
Yeah,
to do
I mean,
that?
but that's because that's just how much they invest in it. Like I do
Right.
that. Like I find artists all the time, but that's because I'm like watching artist interviews and like
Right.
I hear songs from like different things and I want to know what those songs are and I want to know more about the people who lead me to other people. Like that's how I find a lot of my music. Um,
Yo, you or
Different things
Snapchat
like
has
that.
a built-in Shazam now.
Yeah, they've had it for a while.
So Shazam, the app is basically moot, however you say it.
Mute?
Moot. It's
What do you mean?
irrelevant now.
Oh, yeah, yeah, no. Well, no, not really. They still make a lot of money because they are like the backbone of copyright for YouTube.
Oh,
Eh,
true. Well, but I'm talking about the app for Shazam.
Oh yeah,
Like the
the app is
Shazam app is
probably
almost
trash. Yeah,
yeah
I mean, there's
irrelevant.
pretty sure there's people that still use it, but yeah, if you could do it through Snapchat now, I'm pretty
Why?
sure
Why
they'll.
have two apps?
Yeah.
Yo, speaking of apps, one of my professors has started using this polling app in one of our classes.
Hmm.
I think I told you about
Yeah,
this
you
a
did.
little bit earlier, but it was cool. Um, it was super random because first of all, it's a philosophy class, which first of all, philosophy is absolutely horrible. I had to read and critically analyze a passage from like from like 1033 AD last night, and it was like a 2-page passage, and it took me like 30 minutes to read the whole thing. It was brutal because they kept using the same words, and it was about the existence of God, which I'm not going to get into, but basically his argument was like God is something that than which no greater can be conceived. And he just kept using that phrase over and over and over and over and over. And it just gets insane and impossible to read. So it'd be like that which I can't even say it. But it was just super complicated, and you
Hmm.
have to read the same like thing like 8 times to understand it,
Hmm.
and it made me want to die. But anyway, so he gets us to pull on. He's like, "Who has here has a smartphone?" And I feel like he's doing one of these things where like he's gonna be like, I don't know. I even like felt like I'm like, oh, I'm that asshole. But like he was like, "Who has a smartphone?" I was like, "Oh, you're doing this professor bullshit where you're gonna be like, oh, I'm the professor, so you all just blindly listen to me." And I was like, "I'm not gonna listen to you." So I didn't follow my smartphone, but it didn't turn out to be that. He was like, "Yo, download this app." I never had a professor ask me to download an app before, so that was kind of fun. But like it's this polling app where basically he'll ask a question in class, type it into his little laptop because he brings his laptop with him, and it goes to all of our phones because we're on his server. And then we all just poll, so that way he doesn't have to like count like hands or
Uh-huh.
anything, and he gets like a real like live poll. So today we talked about the trolley, um, ah, frick, it's like the trolley judgment or something like that, which basically it's a train, and there's two
Oh,
tracks.
yeah.
There's
I know what
five
you're
people
talking
on
about.
one track, one person on the other track, and the train's gonna run over the 5 people, but you have the ability to switch the track and make it run over the one person instead. What do you do? So he pulled us right there, and he's like, "Oh wow, like look at that! Like 95% said we killed the one person and flipped the track."
Yeah, I forgot what the
It's like
theory is.
the trolley theory or
No,
trolley.
there's it's it's like the
The
whichever
greater
outcome
good.
has the greater yeah, there's like the greatest does the greatest good.
Right.
I think it's snaps. I just took media and theory last semester.
But it was
It'll pop up
yeah,
in my
it was
head.
super cool because like he'd be like, "All right, 90% of the class thinks this, and 10% of the class thinks that," and it was interesting because we would talk about it and like give our arguments, and he would openly like tell us like, "If you want to change your mind," and he'd like give us updates about how the poll was fluctuating and how people were switching sides and changing their minds, and then people would defend why they changed their mind. It was pretty fun. It was pretty dope. So that was cool. Plus, I've never had a professor be like, pull out your phone. So I started texting because
Right.
why wouldn't I? And that was cool, not having to worry because most of my professors are like, if I see you with my phone, I'm going to call on you. And I'm like, that's not what I want, especially in a philosophy class when I understand very little. Um, so that was cool, and that was very enjoyable. But however, it is kind of obnoxious that I now have to lose. Like a lot of people were like, "Oh, hold on, like we're deleting things so we can download this app," and I'm like, "Well, that's a little ridiculous."
Yo, man, fucking, um, Apple just like destroys your It's just like
Storage.
deteriorates your
Right.
storage after like, it's just horrible. I
Right.
really hate it. Before I tell my story about my professor today, which one did you choose? Did you choose to run over the 5 people or the
I'd
one?
run over the 5 people.
Why?
Oh no, I'd run over the one person. Why? Because it's the great, and it's
The
very.
greatest good.
It was the greatest good, yeah.
Or, yeah.
I'd rather have one. In real life, like, would you rather lose 5 people or rather lose one person? You know what I mean? The interesting thing though was then we compared that to another theory, which was you had 5 people who were dying, and they like one had a heart failure, one had a liver failure, one had a skin disease, and the other had kidney failure, and then the other had brain failure. I can't remember what the final thing was, but it was something like that. So a bunch of organs gone failed due to no fault of their own. Like they weren't drinkers, they weren't smokers. It was just something that happened. And the question was, a healthy person comes into the hospital. Should you kill that healthy person and distribute their organs to the 5 sick people to save the 5? And it was interesting because most people said kill the 5 people or kill the one person in the trolley, but on this one, most people say let the 5 people die. Let the 5 people die, which is interesting. But I kind of thought about it as, on the trolley one, you have 5 people you have 6 people who are all doing something inherently dangerous. You know what I mean? You're playing on railroad tracks, or you're on railroad tracks for whatever reason, right? That's not a smart, there's a danger there, and everyone kind of accepts that danger when we do it. You know that those are for trains, and trains run along those things.
Those are for trains.
Like, that's what happens. So, like, obviously, they've put themselves in that scenario. It sucks, but that person has, I'd rather have one person die than 5. But in this one, it's kind of like, number one, this one person who's coming in who's healthy, pardon me, they weren't doing anything inherently dangerous. They were just looking for some Sudafed. I mean, the idea was that they were looking for Sudafed for like some sort of ache that they had, so they went into the hospital, right? So it's like they were looking for help. They were looking for assistance, not to be murdered. You know what I mean?
Right.
They weren't doing anything dangerous. As well, I think it's also kind of like all 6 people in the train one are kind of like equals. Like they're all equally on the track. Each life is held like the same. But you have 5 sick people, and then 1 healthy person. Those sick people are already, sick. So it doesn't make sense to take 1 healthy life and destroy it so you can keep 5 sick people. You know what I mean? When in the other instance you have 5 healthy people and 1 healthy person, well, you'd rather just lose 1 healthy person.
Right. The theory is called utilitarianism.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the ethical theory that places the locus of right and wrong solely on the outcomes / consequence. Well, in parentheses, consequences of choosing one action or policy over other actions or policies. So it's just the interest of the most people,
Right.
And what benefits the most people.
So I mean, a true utilitarian would say, kill the one person in both scenarios. You know what I mean?
A true
Kill the
utilitarian would be like, all right, if there's a group of 9 people and 5 people think like, being gay is like a crime, and 4 people don't, then like being gay is a crime.
Right.
Which
it's
is
just
like,
kind of the
totally
mob
sucks.
mentality.
Yeah, it's 100% mob mentality.
The greatest good. But yeah, and so anyway, the app was the whole point. It was kind of like a fun. It was almost like Kahoot, but like way less. You didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Like you could just you got the app, and you put his name in, and then it's saved for life. So the next time I open the app, he's already there.
Okay.
So it's not like I have to keep going to Kahoot and signing in and making a username. And it's all anonymous, so it's super fun. And we were all sitting there like, oh, let's vote. And then it was interesting to see.
And vote, and send a text, and go on Instagram, and vote,
right.
and go on
It would
Snapchat,
be fun
and
to
go on
see
Twitter,
how
and vote.
it changes. There's some really good.
It fluctuates
arguments.
in real time.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
So the votes are all in real time. So he'd be like, all right, right now, like when we talked about the sick people, he was like, all right, right now like the starting vote is like 90 to 10. 90% people want to save the one person,
Mhm.
and then 10% want to save the 5 people who are sick. And over the discussion, over the class and everything, as arguments came out and people's perspective changed, it got all the way down to like 75-25, and like it was shifting. And that was pretty cool. I was like, that's pretty dope.
Yeah. So back to my professor story. Well, not back to it. I didn't tell you, but you know, thinking back to when I said I was gonna talk about my professor story, my professor just like totally took shots at me today.
I feel like,
Like,
you are always getting
yeah, yo,
shit from your
because you know what
professors.
it is that like film professors or like arts professors in general have such a like they're very vocal and they're very like like I know the industry, you don't, let me teach you kind of way. And they do it in a good way by actually teaching you, but then they do it in like other ways where it's like I'm gonna come on you, not like actual
Whoa,
semen,
Kevin, what's
but like
going
I'm gonna
on?
come at you and I'm gonna like be mean to you because quote unquote I'm teaching you about the industry, I'm preparing you
Aw,
for the industry is
that's
what
dumb.
they say. Yeah, like
It's like they have the defense of like, oh,
yeah,
this is how the industry
yeah,
is.
exactly.
It's like, shut
Like
up.
last semester, we were in class. The first day we come in, I have this professor. His name's Jim Downer. Like really,
Whoa,
really amazing.
roasting him.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna fucking say his name. Jim Donner's a great guy, but he's very, very much a hard ass. And he first day we come in, and he's like, "Listen, everybody, formulates an opinion about me, and it's never in the middle. You either hate me or you love me, and I don't give a fuck. Like, be honest, I don't care." Because I know that whether you like me or you don't, what I'm teaching you and what I'm trying to instill in you will work for you in becoming a filmmaker. So we're all like, okay, cool. But then every single time we would talk, he's very much a teacher that he caters to the independent student, which I guess we all should be.
Right.
If you want to be a filmmaker in life, in my opinion, you actively try to do it. Like if I want to be a filmmaker, yeah, I go to school to get the tips, but I know at home I'm doing a lot of my own research. Just like in any field, if you're interested in it, you do your own research just
Right.
because you're interested in it. And things like
It's
that.
almost like a hobby.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what I
like yeah,
mean? And you're
exactly.
going to like school to like make
To
it a
formulate
job.
your hobby, to get
Right.
a piece of paper that says, "Yo, I've taken my hobby seriously for 4 years."
Right.
Um, and so he caters to that kind of like that kind of student. And but in retrospect, he teaches a 100 level course and a 200 level course, and that works in your 200 level course, but that doesn't work in your 100 level course because you have, which and this is a bad opinion. I honestly feel like maybe my opinion's a little skewed because I know as a filmmaker, naturally, I already have, it in me to do my own research. I know what a camera is. I know
Right.
how a camera works. I know what shutter speed and aperture and, ISO are. I
Right.
know how to light things. And I taught myself all this. Um, but there's so many people who take such a big, like, they take interest in the industry, or they just do it because they thought it was, something
Something
fun
fun.
or something
Yeah.
just to learn, or, they want that life skill, but they don't. It's like it wasn't a hobby for them before,
Right.
so when they come in, they don't know anything. They don't know how to turn the camera on. They don't know how to put a
Oh
battery
my
in. They don't
god.
know what a light looks like. They don't know how to set up a mic. And
Right.
so for me, sitting in a 100 level course where they teach you that shit, I'm just like, yo, like, kill me now. I hate this, you
Right.
know? But in a 200 level course where it's like, I'm giving you all these things, like, I'm giving you a prompt and I'm telling you to go shoot it. And a 100 level course, it's like, all right, I'm going to teach you how to set up the camera.
Right.
I'm going to teach you what a wide shot and a medium shot look like. And 200 level course is like,
Now go
I want you to
use all that.
incorporate these effects, and I want you to, do this, and I want your story to look like this. And we're all going to critique it when you bring it back. It's like, there's no teaching me how to set up a camera. There's
Right.
teaching me how to draw a story and all those things. But um, back to Jim Donner, he will like just be like, he'll ask a question. I'm like, I'm not gonna make this film related. He'll be like, "Yo, what's 2 + 2?" And a student will be like, I don't know. Aren't you supposed to teach us 2 + 2? And he's like, "Listen, I will leave you with a paddle floating up Shit's Creek. All right, people in the industry will not take. Oh, aren't you supposed to teach us 2 plus 2? You should have already went and did your own research about why 2 equals
Two plus
4, 2 plus 2 equals 4, and why the fucking moon is white. All right, and why the fucking sky gets dark in the nighttime. Like, you dumbass. Like, he'll come at you like that. And like, you can't say anything. This is your professor. Like, and
Right.
if you do say stuff, then he keeps coming back at you. Like, one time, um, he told us to sleep our computers because he was gonna show something. But one student obviously didn't hear. So he's like, "All right, well, wait for the astronaut in the room." And we're all just like sitting around, and we
Wow.
know who he's talking about. The student himself doesn't know that Downer's talking about him. But he's like, all right, any day the astronaut will come back to Earth and he'll understand what he needs to do. And the dude's sitting here, and so like he's like, all right, is anyone gonna help the astronaut? Like, it's like a minute has dragged on, so like it's really awkward now. And so everybody's like, yo, shut down your computer. He's like, oh, I didn't know you were talking about me. If you were talking about me, you should have just said it. And he's like, well, obviously, if you were listening, you would have heard that I said sleep your computers. And he's like, well, damn, like, just chill. And he's like, no, there's no chill. Like, if you were on a set right now, I'd have told you to go home. Like, there's no talking back to the director. When you
Right.
do something or you're on a set, you need to be very attentive and you need to be listening, because in our industry, there is no second chance. You get blackballed, you can't go back to Hollywood trying to be a director. And so he was like having this fight with Downer, and Downer's like, either way, I'm the professor. You're wrong. Shut your computer, like, shut your computer down. I know what you say. And we're all like, yo, dude, chill. Stop talking back. Like, calm down. And I know, like, after a while, I know it was annoying to like keep taking all that shit
Right.
from Downer,
Right.
but he just did it, and he'll just do stuff like that. Like, our final, um, because Jim Donner, he taught us VFX. In the beginning, the first 3 weeks, he taught us all the effects that we would need to know. And then the rest, of the 12 weeks, it was just like, all right, go execute.
Right.
And then put together a reel at the end, and we're going to show each of them at the end of the class. And everybody submitted their reel, but one student, I think something was wrong with his hard drive, so he couldn't, like, submit it. Or he was trying to,
Mhm.
but he was like, you got 10 minutes, and then we're starting to watch everybody's reel. But the dude didn't upload in 10 minutes or whatever. I think he had to download it from Google Chrome, and it was like really big or something. He was having some problems. And Downer was like, we're waiting for you, and like coming at him. He's like, yo, he just like blacked on Downer. He was like, fuck you. Like, you didn't teach us shit. Like, for somebody who doesn't know anything about VFX, like, this class, you're supposed to teach us, but you ain't teach us shit. And he just stormed out.
Oh,
And
damn.
we all just like looked at him like, I knew there was going to be at least one. But
Oh,
I knew it
man.
wasn't going to be me. Because,
That's crazy. Yo, actually, I mean, I'm sure that your professor's not as much of an asshole as the guy I'm about to talk about, but it reminds me of this thing that just happened at work. I work for a parking garage company, and I manage parking garages. And we had a special event the other day in one of our garages because something was going on in the Eastman Theater, so we charge $7 rather than the hourly rate. It's just a $7 flat for everyone who comes in. And this professor comes in, right? He's a professor at Eastman. He comes in, and like, I usually try to work with people if they have extenuating circumstances, but this dude comes like screeching in his car, and he's like, "What the fuck? Like, I'm so done. Like, every single Thursday there's a special event. I teach a class on Thursdays, and I have to pay $7. I'm just trying to teach a class. I'm a professor. Like, this is bullshit. I'm not paying. Like, blah 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 blah." And I'm like, "Yo, you need to relax,
Yeah.
right? Not okay. You cannot come like screeching in here
Mhm.
and just start yelling. Like, you need to calm down, right?" And then one of my employees starts yelling at the dude yelling back at the dude, and I'm like, "What are you doing?
Mhm.
Like, stop yelling. I'm right here. I will handle this."
Uh-huh.
And he starts yelling. He's like, "You don't come in here just yelling at us. Like, we're people. Who do you think you are?" You know what I mean? And then they get
Not
into it,
wrong.
and they're just going,
But he's
going.
wrong.
And this professor is just so disrespectful. It was blowing my mind. My employee, like, yeah, he like was yelling a little bit, but he stayed respectful. He's like, "Listen, you gotta pay. It's $7. You cannot come in here, start yelling. I need you to calm down. Like, it's $7. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do, right?" And the professor just like, "Screw this. Like, this is so dumb." And at one point, is like, "Who even are you? You're a nobody." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
That's what he said?
That's what the professor said. And
Wow.
I ended up having to yell at my employee, be like, "Shut up, like, drop it.
Yeah.
Let me talk." And the professor ended up paying. But I was like, how are you a professor?
Right.
Like, You know what I mean? Like professors are supposed to like,
How do you think about people like that?
right? That's so disrespectful.
Yeah.
And it was to the point where some lady ended up coming back and she's like, I thought the man was yelling at me. That's why I came back. And she's like, I'm so sorry that like he screamed. Sorry, my bad. Screamed at you guys like that. And I was like, it's fine, like whatever.
Yeah.
And in my head, it was kind of like if my employee hadn't started yelling, maybe I could have kept it a little lower key. Because he did start, the guy started yelling a lot more once my employee engaged him. But still, to go off like that, like I get it. You know, paying $7 to teach your class, it's an inconvenience. But you're going to yell at the messenger, like scream at the messenger. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you need to chill.
And then kind of goes low to say that.
Right. You need to not be disrespectful and like just totally like, you know, basically say that this human is garbage.
Right.
Like that's ridiculous. Like, and I almost wanted to call Eastman and be like, yo, you have a ridiculously rude professor. But I mean, I didn't end up doing any of that. And, you know, maybe the guy was just having a shitty day. I don't know. But like that doesn't
excuse it in my
the
opinion.
most. That's the craziest customer I've ever had in my life. It was crazy. He was furious, and when he pulled out his credit card to pay, I thought he was gonna pull some out and try to attack me with it. Like that's how mad he was. I thought he was gonna get out of the car and try to beat up my employee. Like it was getting, and that's why I had to yell at my employee. Like I was like, drop it. Like just stop engaging him. You're just making him angrier. And it was nuts. But he ended up paying, and he screeched off. And even as he was leaving, he was talking shit. And I was like, oh my god, like this is just ridiculous. You know, if I had control over the situation, I probably would have, you know, said something to him. But at that point, like, I was like, he's holding up the line. He's distracting my employee who's on another line. Like, this just needs to end. Like, I'm trying to make money here at the end of the day. But that was wild. And that just kind of reminded me of, because you said your professor was yelling. But no, that was crazy. Oh, my God.
Yeah, my professor was coming at me today. And they're always kind of coming at me. And, like, in the VAPA department, in the VAPA school, like, I joke with my professors.
What
like,
is VAPA? Can you just...
the Visual Arts and Performing Arts School.
Okay, cool.
Here. We, like, and the school's so small, and everybody in the program knows each other. Like, just like any other school. Like, you pretty much, like, the group of students that you're with in your 100 level classes, you tend to usually always be the people in your 200 level courses.
Right.
I mean, I imagine in, like, the business school, there's a lot more students, so there's a lot more classes and a lot more.
Not business anymore.
No.
Political science.
Oh yeah, Well, even in
yeah. Well, no, not. I recognize quite a few people from my political science classes. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, okay. Well, maybe I was just thinking I was a VAPA thing. But I like joke on my professors all the time. Like this morning I had I had photo 2, and so my professor comes. And he ranted for like 5 minutes about how the Monday class didn't put away like some lights correctly. So like we need to put away the lights correctly. And so we were like, okay. And so on my stand, there was an extra light that we hadn't touched, that we didn't even know was ours. I mean, we didn't even know why it was there, who had put it there, but it was there. So we just left it. I wasn't putting it away because it wasn't mine. And he ended up coming back after and be like, see, look, group 1, Kevin's group, didn't put their light back. And I was like, listen, Jason, you gave us 2 lights. That's number 3. You didn't tell us to work with 3 lights, so it must be yours. And he was like, can't be mine. I wasn't in there. And then another student came up and was like, oh, I'm sorry, that's mine. And I was like, look at you, Jason, give me all this shit. And he just kind of like moved on. But my professor, I had put like our cameras, like our 60Ds and 70Ds have big cases, like real heavy duty like metal cases. So I put one on the desk, and he was like, yo, why is that on my desk? Like giving me hassle. I'm like, sorry, like, and I don't know him that well,
right.
But he was joking with me. He was like, no, I'm gonna teach you. I'm gonna teach you. And I was like, okay, what the fuck?
Do that.
Yeah, but then after the class, he was like, nah, I just like was messing with you, and I feel like we're gonna be good friends. And then I showed him my short film, and he was like, yo, I fucking love this. This is amazing. Like, he was so into it. It was really cool. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us today.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in
All
on
right.
our little kind of random rant that covered everything from the film industry to music.
Yeah. Tweet us what your favorite
Right.
music is or your favorite film, and
Right.
then watch mine when mine comes out this month in February somehow.
Yes.
We'll see you later.
Yeah, have a good one, guys.